Hi, I don't know what happened back there. But hi. Okay, there you are. Oh, good. There you are. View request. Go live. I'm gonna start over.
And you're going, oh, you're there. See,
Here
that's
I
what it was.
am.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so I'm so sorry. Everybody and
Hopefully they
Jessica.
all come back. That's okay. No
Yeah,
worries.
so I all of a sudden it just said your IG live ended, and I was like, no, it didn't.
And I was like, oh, did I do that? Because that would be my luck. So sorry,
No, I
everybody.
don't think
Thank you
so.
for coming
Excuse
back.
me. Yeah, thanks for coming back. So, and I'm going to splice together, I'm screen video. Anyway, so what we were talking about was Jessica Vandenberg. So Many Creations is the handle you can find Jessica at here on Instagram as well as on Facebook, where she's
Hmm.
extremely active. And so, Jessica, if you don't mind, again,
No.
starting with what you do.
So we'll forget all that old stuff. Let's fast forward to now.
Yeah.
I started my business officially in 2011, but I actually started sewing bags and quilting around 2005. Got into bag making on a whim because I found out that as a quilter, that I don't know how to finish the quilts. I only know how to make the tops and put the binding on. And so I was in my early 20s and I was like, I don't know how to finish them. And getting things quilted is like thousands of dollars. It can be, but I didn't know that it didn't have to be. So I was like, what can I do with all this fabric? Because I don't know about you. I've sewed for so long and I've taken little pauses here and there, college and different things and tried different stuff. And I just was on this roll and I just didn't want to walk away from the sewing machine. I needed to find something to do with that machine. And I just started making bags. I bought books and patterns and made stuff up as I went, had no clue what I was doing most of the time. Some of my first bags were absolute disasters, but it was fun. I loved it. And I didn't care that I was messing up because I was learning stuff. And I actually started as a seller of the finished bags. I don't do that anymore. Just because I got kind of burned out. And if you sell things, you know how that goes when you make things for other people. And people don't value our industry that are outside of it, and they don't realize how much time and effort and money goes into things. And I was just kind of tired of but I could buy it cheaper somewhere else. I'm like, but I'm making it with my two hands.
Right.
So I decided I needed to do something here, but I needed to try a different avenue. And that's when I started writing patterns. And I released my first one in 2011. So my business will be 10 years old officially on the pattern side in February. I'm like, wait a minute, how is this happening? It's weird. So yeah, so that's where I got started. So I have done it from the selling part to the designing part to everything in between. And I know what I like and what I don't like, and this is where I want to be. This is what I
Yeah,
enjoy doing.
that's what I like about you because you know what you like and you know what you don't like. And you and I
Yes.
clicked right off the bat. I was saying we met, I attended your schoolhouse
Hmm.
at the Houston Quilt Market in 2014. So that was fall market.
I can't
And
even believe it was that long ago.
I know. I was living in California and working for a shop, and they were in need of some new tools and classes. And so, as I look through the schoolhouse booklet, which is extensive, and you're like, I can't figure out what I'm going to
Oh, it's
attend.
crazy. If you've never had to look at it, it's
Oh,
insane.
yeah. It's just trying to figure out how you're going to break down your day of all of these hundreds of events to go meet
Exactly.
designers and see fabric, all the fun things that fills up Quilt Market. But it's very stressful. And so
It's very
your
stressful.
description for your class, your event was really brought me to the classroom, and because it was talking about your pathways ruler, which is a curved ruler that safely allows you to cut for drunken path patterns and multiple sizes, three sizes,
Yep.
and quilt patterns that accompanied that tool, as well as bag patterns, and then traditional piecing patterns. So your patterns are no foundation paper piecing patterns, I don't believe.
I
Do
have
you have
one. I
one?
just have one.
And
Yeah, because I
yeah,
love paper piecing and I needed something to support teaching paper piecing. So
okay,
I have one
yes.
pattern.
And
That's
you have
it.
32 quilt patterns. on the,
Yeah, you know that, and I didn't know that.
yeah, I would,
I had no idea.
so you can find Jessica's website at so many, SEW, so many creations NY for New York.com. And there you'll find, in addition to her 32 quilt patterns and 31 bag patterns, you're going to find cork fabric, her own fabric. You're going to find a shop that you might want to add to that list of shops that you go look at on your phone or your iPad while you're watching TV, going, because I just need more things in my studio. Yes, I do. There's just a plethora of information and things to get and make that Jessica offers. So what was, and you talked a little bit about your quilting background, and was there something because of the bags you were making that you really were like, what, somebody, these don't make sense, or anything like that?
There was a lot of it. And I know you and I have talked about this before, and it's not uncommon to hear this. Bags perplex a lot of people, and they're very overwhelming because they're three-dimensional. And as quilters, we work flat. We work in two-dimension. And it's really funny looking back at what I used to do, like my actual career that I had before this. I was an interior designer. And I remember talking to one of the ladies that I worked with, and she said, don't you visualize like when you're driving somewhere, everything is like a map, like on 2D? And I was like, no, everything is 3D. It's all around me. Never realizing that that would translate to what I do now. But I think because especially coming from garment making, you have a little bit of understanding because there's certain curves and different things to clothing, but it has to fit. Coming from quilting, everything is flat, and we only really have to worry about that block and then meeting to the next block. We don't have to worry about how does it stand up? How do I hold it? How do I carry it? Where does the hardware go in? And that stuff just fascinated me, probably because I fumbled so hard on my first bags. The first bag I ever made, because I'm one of those people, and that's why I understand when I get these emails, I don't read that well, and I just kind of like skim through, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And then I find out I don't know what I'm doing. The
Mm-hmm.
handles were inside the bag, not in the lining, like inside the bag, because my brain said, put them there. That makes sense.
Right.
Putting zippers in, I told
Oh,
people they didn't need zippers. I was like, no, nobody uses zippers. That's just stupid. No, Velcro all
skip
the way.
that.
I was like, who uses a zippered pocket in a purse? I had these conversations out loud, and I'm embarrassed that I did, but I was like, nobody likes zippers, and I don't want to learn how to put one in. When you do, it's like your mind just goes, wow, it's not that hard, and I can do it, and you feel super proud of yourself. So I bought patterns, I bought books. And what I started to learn as I started to grasp some of the concepts was that this book had way too many steps. There's 5 extra steps that I don't need to do. I could skip those. This pattern, I don't understand this wording, so I'm making it up as I go. And I could never go from start to finish with one. And that's when I decided, let me try it myself because I think I like my technique. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea. There's bag designers out there that other people will like better because they understand their instruction. Mine, I have like a method, and I have
Mm-hmm.
certain ways that just make sense to me.
Yeah, your
So,
formula works, and the people that follow you, that works for them too.
exactly.
Um, and then, so do you find when, because so another thing about Jessica is that Jessica vends how many shows a year before pre-COVID?
15 to 20 over the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, pretty solid. Probably the last 3 years have been the most like crazy amount of shows. I would say on average, anywhere from 15 to 20.
Yeah, that is a lot of driving because you drive.
It's a lot. I drive everywhere. Yeah. I drive
And
everywhere, even to California and back.
yeah, I know, road
It's just,
and yeah, and so Jessica's up in New York. I'm in Virginia, so East Coast here. And then regarding the quilts, like, so you also teach.
mhm.
Are the bags the bigger draw because they're harder to accomplish by oneself, or
Yeah.
are you able to kind of tap into people who are interested in both and do like a whole weekend of events with classes for both kind of things, or what happened?
I've taught both. I probably taught much more in the bag making part of it. And I think there's two main reasons. Number one, bag making is overwhelming. So having somebody there to walk you step by step through it,
Right.
so that you're not confused, or so that when something doesn't make sense, because even when you understand bags, sometimes they still don't make sense. They're weird. And I say it all the time. Bag making is strange. So I think there's that draw, but also most of the classes that I teach, you can finish the bag in that class. When it comes to quilting, unless it's a technique driven class like curves or paper piecing or something like that, I can only teach you so much. You come
Right.
in it with the knowledge, unless it's a basic beginner class, you know how to sew a 1/4 of an inch seam. I'm just going to show you this particular pattern. Here's some tips on cutting a jelly roll, and here's how I
Right.
piece it quicker. For me to teach you for 3 to 4 hours or more, I'm just going to be watching you make the same block over and over. So it doesn't appeal to me as much. And I think
Huh?
it's harder to teach. I
Right.
like teaching bags because I love when people come in and they're like, I don't get it. I don't think it's going to work. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't understand it at all. And they get done and they're like, look what I made. It's all done. And I'm like, I told you. So
Now,
it's kind of more exciting.
and so when did you start incorporating teaching into the business?
I started teaching after I started making bags and before I started writing patterns.
Oh,
I started teaching at my local guild. We used to do, I'm actually not a member anymore because I haven't been home. And now that I'm home, I'm not allowed to leave.
nobody's going
So
anywhere.
I can't go anywhere. But our guild used to do these $5 Saturday workshops with members. So a member could teach it. And it was, $5 to spend a Saturday and, work on a project. And people were like, you always carry bags with you. Can you teach us how to make those? And that's how I started teaching. And then after I started writing patterns, the local quilt shops, because we at one point had like 11 or 12 within like a 30-mile radius of my house.
Oh,
There were tons. And I was selling to pretty much all of them. So as I would sell the patterns, they'd ask if I would teach and if I could teach, these new techniques and stuff. And that's just kind of how that happened. And I figured out that I love teaching. You don't know if you like it until you try it. And I was like, I don't even know if I'm good at it, but if you want to give me a chance, I'll try it. And I loved it. I love watching people go from like doubt to just amazement with themselves. I just love that. So
and you are so likable and adorable. And I was instantly attracted to you because of your personality. I'm a big personality too.
yes, you are. And that's what, let me just tell you guys watching something about Karen. So she mentioned this in the first video before we blooped out. I was nervous that first schoolhouse. And if you don't know what a schoolhouse is, it's a lecture, but it's a sales pitch. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to sell you on me and whatever product it is that I'm talking about. I've been to like two, maybe. I had never, I had never done one. I didn't know how to do one. I didn't know what I was doing. And all I could think, the worst thing that was going to happen was that no one would show up because they didn't know me, or some big name like Tula Pink would be doing hers at the same time slot and everyone would beeline to her and I'd be standing there going, so nobody came. And here comes this bubbly, blonde, wonderful woman who sits down in the front row and just starts talking to me like I've known her my whole life. And I was like, I like you.
I
It
know.
was magic because you
Yeah.
made me calm. Because I was
Oh,
like, she's interacting and you were like smiling at me and nodding along. And I was like, I feel okay. I think I can do this. I still don't know what I said. I don't know anything that happened that afternoon. But all of a sudden, it was like I found my rhythm and it was fine. Everything was good. And we've been friends since
yeah,
that moment. And
yeah,
it's just, that's how it works sometimes.
yeah.
As an adult, it's not always easy to make
It's
new
not.
friends.
It's
And
like
this
dating.
industry can be weird. This
Yeah.
industry can be like a big giant date. And sometimes
Yes.
it doesn't work. And sometimes people don't want to be your friend. They feel this competition. I want to be friends with people.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
enjoy that.
Right. Because we're all bringing something different to the table.
Exactly. And
You
there's room
know,
for everybody. And
exactly.
that's what the people that don't agree with that and think that are the ones that I won't ever be friends with because they don't think that. I think there's room for everyone. We all do things differently. It's a good thing,
And you
you
know why
know?
there's room for everybody? Because the quilting industry alone is a $3 billion plus industry a
Yeah.
year. And
Yes.
I am sure that that has exploded in 2020, especially in the sewing machine sales.
Oh, for sure.
They can't keep up with the demand. Fabric is delayed because it's this domino effect all the way
Hmm.
from the manufacturing of the fabric itself all over the world.
To
So,
the shipping, to the receiving. It's
everything.
all, it
Yes,
is. It's a huge domino effect.
And so there's been a resurgence, I feel, and I can see it in Instagram because there's a lot of new quilters. There's a lot of people just at home with a little bit more
Mhm.
time. Maybe jobs, unfortunately, have not panned out for, but we're all here in Instagram. We're all here on your phone. And we also can answer questions. Some of us, like Jessica and myself, we've been around the block. We know what we are doing regarding technique and skill, but we also have advice. So please don't hesitate.
Oh,
Um,
never. I'm always here.
yeah.
I answer every email.
Yep.
So
Yep.
even the mean ones.
So in addition to your patterns, you've also done fabric design. So
Hmm.
you're previously with Wyndham Fabrics, and I might have made a quilt with your juniper fabrics. And
Maybe.
there, I did. This is it. And so, so this quilt I made last 2019. We had just moved
Mhm.
home from Seattle to Virginia, and this huge box arrived, and it was full of your juniper collection as well, which was your second collection
Yep,
with them, as well as their artistic cottons,
I think so.
artisanal. She's gonna kill me.
Something
Anyway,
along those lines.
this fat, and then so on the back I have the solid as well. And it was just such a fun and joyful and colorful collection. I'll show you some more of it here. And I'm a big fan of a single block quilt.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And so I love it. So I had to hang it to sit in front of today
Yeah.
while I talk with you. Um, Now, when you came up, so I mentioned this pathways ruler. Now, what was what made you think I need a tool? Because there are many ways to make a curved pieced block. And what did it for you that you were like, okay, I can do this myself?
So the way this kind of happened, it was funny. My first quilt market that I vended at was Pittsburgh earlier that year,
Mm-hmm.
and I only had patterns. That was it. And I was focusing a lot on the wholesale side of it with the shops and with market and things like that. And a friend of mine and I actually drove to Pittsburgh and did our booths. And I said to her, I feel like being a pattern designer is not enough. Like I want more and I feel like I want a bigger part in this industry. I was not even thinking about the retail aspect of it, which is happened later. But I was like, in order to do that, I feel like patterns are just not enough. And I feel like there's like three ways you can go. You can design fabric, which I'm never going to design fabric ever. You can write a book, which I'm never going to write a book. I did, it just wasn't published. Or you can come out with
Oh
a
yeah.
notion. Oh, yeah, I got gossip
I
on that.
forgot about that.
So, or you can design a tool of some kind. And as a quilter, because I started with bags, but like kind of transitioned into quilting because I was doing this booth at Quilt Market and I thought I need a backdrop and I need stuff besides bags because not all shops want bags. And back in 2014, 15, they still weren't as popular. I'd say over the last 5 years, they've gotten super popular. There was this hesitation of, I don't make bags, I don't want to sell them in my shop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're quilters. So I started making quilts and I had always been frustrated with all of the curved templates because I love curved piecing. Love it. It's another thing that people avoid, just like bags.
I know.
But
Yours was the first one I ever did.
and I every time you buy a curved pattern, there's either a paper template for you to cut out, which is super dangerous and annoying to have to trace and trace and trace. Or you buy the templates that are multiple pieces and I lose them. Or you can buy other rulers that have different curves or different, like things going on. I love Drunkard's Path. It was the first curve I ever did. I did an entire quilt. It was like the third quilt I ever finished. I was obsessed with making curves. And I just, as we were driving home from Pittsburgh, this idea popped in my head. And I was like, what if it was actually easy to cut because it was slotted and you could put your rotary cutter in it and you can make more than one size so you don't have to keep buying sets of them. And it just kind of started. I think we got home and by the next weekend I had already drawn it up and contacted somebody in Washington to make it for me. It just, when I get hooked on something, I go quick. Like I can't, I'm
I
like
love it.
all in and that's how it goes.
That's
So
That's amazing. Now, in addition to the Pathways ruler, do you have any other quilting related tools that
I
you've designed?
don't.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
But one of your at least in the shop I worked in Kirkland, Washington, the Circa 15 Fabric Studio, when it was a brick and mortar, I, Kristen and I, the owner, we went to Quilt Market. I introduced you to her, and she was amazed by your Diva clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And so you actually have design and sell and wholesale to shops and to and then you sell directly to customers. The hardware. How did you end up getting into making your own hardware for your bags
Weird things
and the
happen and you just
wallet?
go with it. Um, I always said, because I've always been very cautious, and out of my husband and I, he is the one that is like, just do it, just do it, just do it, try it, go for it. And I'm the one that's like, hold on, I need to do months of research, I need to think things through. Like once I'm in all the way, but I need to work myself up to it. I've definitely moved past that a lot. Now I make quicker decisions. But I designed this wallet because I found the hardware online from, I don't even know where I got it from. And I was like, this is super cool. I'm making this just for me. This is just my thing. I posted it on Facebook. Number one mistake if you want everybody to want something. And all of the shops were like, when are you going to write this pattern? When are you going to teach this? And I was like, I don't want to, because it had special hardware. And I thought they were going to be annoyed with me because I was bringing to the table a pattern that had to have this special hardware.
Mm.
So I kept buying it for a lot of money. I kept paying full retail from the only person I knew that had it and selling it and making no money, to my husband's frustration. And he was like, why don't we just try to get it ourselves? We can make it, we can have it made for us. And I was like, no, I don't do that. I don't want to do this.
Mm.
And I said on more than one occasion, the Diva wallet will die. Nobody's going to want it. Everything goes away after a while. It's not going to be popular. I'm going to invest in something that's not going to be popular in 6 months. And he pushed and pushed and pushed. And finally, one day, he got annoyed with me taking so long. And he looked it up himself and ended up finding manufacturers and finding people to make it. And now we have it in 8 different finishes. Sometimes
Yeah.
you need that person in your life. If you're not going to be the person, sometimes you need a pusher, and he pushed me. And ever since then, I've been obsessed with hardware, and I just want all of it in every color, and I can't stop myself.
Yeah.
So it's
Those
crazy.
cheerleaders in our lives are very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Very, very
Um,
important.
yeah. So you have the hardware for the Diva wallet, and
Mm-hmm.
that is the clamp closure at the
Yes.
top, and
Yep.
that's
The two
metal.
piece, it's metal. Yep.
Yeah. And then what else do you have? Do you have closures? I mean,
We have a mini version of that because I have mini wallets. We have 2 big wallets, the mini wallets, mini versions of each of those. I have D-rings, swivel hooks,
oh,
magnets,
great.
twist locks, flip locks. I have so much hardware. It's insane. When we were chatting before we started the live, the 2 ladies that work for me were leaving, and they work in the office across the hall because this is technically my husband's office. I just take over because I work for him. So, that's my payment. I get the other half of the office and make it
It's
look
in the
pretty.
contract.
It's in our vows, it's everything. So,
Right.
over there is shelves upon shelves, like 6-foot tall shelves full of hardware, because if I like it, I want it, and I want it in all the finishes. And if I see something and I don't have it, I'm immediately hooked and I want it. And I'm like, what else do we need? And doing shows, every time I would meet people and they would say, like, do you carry this item? And if I heard that enough times, I was like, that's what I need to get next. And like, we started carrying rivets this year. I would have never thought, I was like, I'm not going to carry rivets. We get so many requests for them. I was like, well, I guess we're doing them. So I do listen to everything. I'm not going to carry everything. But when I get a request over and over again, it gets in my head and I'm like, okay, that's going to be the
Need it.
next thing.
Right.
So we have so much stuff.
And
It's kind of
all of
obnoxious.
this, all of this can be found even when we go to a new normal and
Mm-hmm.
you are doing shows again. Not everybody can attend shows. So everything can be purchased from your website, so many creationsny.com.
Yep. And we have free US shipping. That's been a thing
Ah,
forever. So
that's
just
exciting.
gonna plug a little bit. But
Yes,
yeah,
that's why we're
so
here.
it's just one of those things that when you're in your 20s and don't know any better, and someone goes, well, how much does that cost to ship it? You're like, free. And you don't realize what that was such an important thing to them, and that you kind of put yourself in that spot. And so now I ship for free across the United States, no minimums. So it's one of
Wow.
my, like, I think it's been one of the things that definitely put like branded me that way. And also it shows when people would hear that because they go, well, I don't know what I need, but if I don't buy it from you now, if I get on your website, I'm going to have to pay shipping. And I'm like, actually, as long as you live in the United States. And they're like, oh. And I think that really brought people from face to face to the website as, you know, lifelong customers. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so, um, since pandemic started and we're all at
mhm,
home and you're not doing shows, I do know that on Fridays, not this week and not last week, but you'll be starting it back up.
mhm,
And we just talked about this a couple weeks ago. You are very active on Facebook
mhm.
and the So Many Creations Facebook page, and you do a Facebook Live every Friday at 11 a.m.
Yep.
Eastern, and you talk about new products, new patterns, just, shoot the what
Demos,
about
different
whatever
things.
you got going
Hmm.
on. Um, how has putting your face out there in this new way affected your business? Has it grown in pandemic?
For sure.
Or, yeah, oh, great.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and not to get, you know, too personal into certain things, but when you vend at a lot of shows, you're used to a certain income that you
Hmm.
vend, you know, because we're at these events for 3 to 4 days and it's quick and it's crazy and it's insane. And you have to go to the ones that make sense, obviously, especially if you're driving crazy miles. So you get used to, you know, that. But along with that comes other costs. You have booth fees, you have hotels, food, you have all that stuff. So taking that away, it's kind of balanced out. And I feel like the website's grown from doing shows because, like I said before, I started really getting active into wholesale and then moved into, I want to meet you. I want to meet the person that makes my patterns, not the person that's just selling them, that's never opened the pattern. I want to meet the person that makes it. I want to meet the person that wants different kinds of hardware and, you know, has suggestions for me. And you know what? I always wish you had a bag like this. I want to meet those people on the opposite side. So that's how I got into the retail shows. And what would happen is my employees would be here and I would be sending email after email because we'd run out of something and I can't replenish at a show. And I'd say, you know, send this, it's already paid for. And I'd send them an email. And then I would have that customer now on my website shopping, or, oh, I didn't even know you've got even more on your
Mm,
website. And I'm like, well, we can't bring everything.
right.
So that
You can't.
definitely helped. And now we can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. So I think it's been important to be in front of people, but
Yeah.
also to show them my face because you can't see me since I'm not out and about. And it really started on a whim. One Friday night, I did one Facebook Live and I didn't intend on doing more. I had a magazine had just come out and people were asking me some questions about the project. And then I said, I probably got 3 or 4 emails in like a 2 week span that said, are you still open? Are you shipping? And to me, I'm thinking, well, of course, why wouldn't I be? And then I'm thinking, but there's a lot of people that aren't, and you don't know my situation. So
Right.
after that, I said, okay, I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I'll just say, hey, show you some things I've been working on, talk about the magazine, call it a day. And immediately they were like, when's your next one? I was like, you want more of me? Like, I'm a lot,
Always.
and you want me? Like, I'm a lot to take. Ask my husband. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I said, how about we start doing them every Friday? And I did 33 weeks in a row from May all the way through until the week before Christmas. And it's kind of weird that I've had 2 weeks off. So this is nice. But obviously Friday is Christmas and then Friday's, you know, New Year's. So,
Yeah.
and somebody's birthday. So I'm just going to have to, you know, I have all these ideas and stuff to do for starting the 8th. And I'm hoping to get every Friday. I'm hoping we have no holidays, no interruptions, no
Yeah.
power outages, nothing
Yeah.
crazy. So,
Yeah, so definitely, and I saw somebody ask there in the comments I'm going to include all the ways to find Jessica in the post. I'm going to have her tagged in the post itself so you can then go to her Instagram, but please go find SEW, So Many Creations on Facebook,
yes.
and follow the page, like the page so you get alerts And then when Jessica goes live on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern,
Mhm.
just join her and see what's going on. Buy a pattern and make something. Maybe you've never made a bag. And so, have you dabbled in online teaching at all?
It's coming. It's
Oh,
coming
great.
because they want
Because
it.
people
They
bug
ask
you
for
for it.
it and they want it. And it's, you know what? This is this is how it has to be from now on. And I was just talking to my husband earlier, and I know I'm here for at least another year. It could be two. It could be forever. I don't know.
Who
I don't
knows?
know. And I'm not going to sit and count the days and be
Right.
like, well, I can't wait until I can go. So if I go to shows again and it's 2, 3 years from now, it is what it is. So I
Yeah.
have to worry about today, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I am
Exactly.
working on doing some Zoom classes. I have my guinea pigs who are ready to, try everything out, make sure we've got it all because I got to make sure it's perfect before I go. I'm still going to be doing the Facebook lives. If you're here, you're on Instagram. If you're not on Facebook, that's fine. I have a YouTube channel now.
Yes.
I have a YouTube channel, which is weird. But what I do is I upload every Monday, usually in the morning, whatever we did on Facebook on Friday. So
Oh, that's
we
so
don't have anything
smart.
for a couple weeks, but it keeps content on YouTube. And
Hmm.
I've seen my numbers on YouTube growing at a really nice pace. Am I in the tens of thousands? No, of course not. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I need 10,000 followers. I would love it. I'm happy for everyone I get and I'm appreciative.
Me too.
But, it's about quantity, and my customers kick ass. They're amazing. They send me pictures, they send me emails for no reason. They watch my videos, they plug me. Like, they're constantly we have conversations even though I can't see their faces. And they're so good to me that I would rather have an amazing small group of people than to have hundreds of thousands of people that don't really know who I
Right.
am. As it grows, it's growing naturally. It's growing in a quality way. And I love that. But I've looked at YouTube, and every week I'm getting more and more followers. And I'm like, how are you finding me? I don't even know where you're coming from. And it's amazing. And they're commenting on stuff and they're liking the videos. And then they're watching me on Facebook and joining our Facebook group. So everything has just happened very organically, and it's perfect. It's exactly the way it should be.
And I
I
feel
love
the
it.
same way about everything that I have accumulated over the years with Instagram. I have real friends I don't know and will
Yes.
never meet, but they're in my DMs and we have conversations and they're in
Mhm.
here watching us right now. And Lynn, all the way from England, is watching. Hi, Lily's Quilts.
And some of
So
my friends, some of my
yeah, I've been
Facebook
seeing
people
all
are
these
here. I
wonderful
see them. I'm like, hey,
comments.
I know you.
Exactly. Now, in addition to all of these things we've been talking about, you also work with Genome Machines,
Yes, I do.
and that's the Japanese print. It's a Japanese company, Genome, and uh, you're a Genome maker. And
Correct.
you recently posted a little tour love note about your
Yes.
15,000 on your YouTube channel. So how did that come about? And why Genome?
Um, and this is another one of those things. I'm very much a believer that things happen for a reason and that things should happen organically. I hate to keep using that word, but it
No,
can't be
it is what it
forced.
is.
There's too much in not only this industry, but in anyone where you're so hungry for it that you fall into traps that don't work for you. And I've done it myself. I've gotten into collaborations with people that we didn't jive and it wasn't right. And it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay to find out that it didn't work for you. Genome is one of the things that happened. It happened before it happened. I fell in love with their machines way before I even knew anyone that worked at Genome. And the shortest version of the story is this: I had another brand of machine. I loved it. I had no issues with it, but I had issues with the service. In our area,
oh,
we have quilt shops, but we didn't have people servicing this particular brand. And the person that was, this company kept changing hands. They were doing a very poor job of it. And I felt very brushed aside. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I was like, but it's not working. And I'm asking you to please help me. I will pay for it. And I was so frustrated. I don't even know where I was. I think I was at an event talking to a local dealer. And she was like, do you want to try the Genome and see if you like it? And I was like, without being pushy, without it being like a sales pitch. And I was like, sure. I loved it. And then I said, how much does this cost? Because I can only imagine this machine is huge. It was my 7700. I was like, it's
Oh,
big. It's got so much stuff. This has got to be super expensive. And when she told me the price, I was kind of blown away. I was like, that's really reasonable. I was expecting so much more, like triple that. And I loved the cost of everything. And then I just loved the machine, the size of it, the ease of working with it.
hmm.
I probably bought my first Janome around 2012, maybe 11. And I had it for years. And the first time that I taught at a quilt show was for AQS, which
Hmm.
are the same people that put on Paducah. They actually happened to be in Syracuse, which is a couple hours west of me. And it was one of the first shows for them that I vended at. And I got to teach there. And in my classroom was our dear friend, Miriam. I don't know if she's watching. I hope she does. And she was in my classroom. And Miriam Coffee has this energy. She's got the Karen
Yes.
energy where you love her. You don't know her, but you love her. And she
Love.
was in there to assist, and she was amazing. She never pushed the machines in a sales pitchy way.
Mm-mm.
She walked around. She made sure everybody was set before they had an issue. If she could tell something was going on, she said, can I show you something? And she was so amazing. And we just kind of became friends. And the education summit happened, and she was like, you need to come. You love Janome, and you need to be part of this family. And I was like, I'm in. And you and I sat next to each other for that. So
Yep.
that
And
was a
it's,
long time ago.
yep,
It was a
was,
couple years ago.
it was
Two.
2018
Yep.
at their headquarters in New Jersey.
Yep.
And it was because of you that I met Miriam. And
Yes. And it was
I'd seen her in
awesome.
my phone, and I'd seen her in her colorful aura walking the
Yes.
floors of quilt markets in the
Yes.
past. But then that moment we got to meet, I was like, oh yeah, I love you.
Yeah. She's got this red hair and this very retro way of that you don't
Yes.
forget her. And then when you meet her,
No.
you're like, you're one of us.
I
Like
love
I
you.
love you. And she's the one that that got me involved in that aspect of it. And I got to become a maker, and it was just awesome, and meet some of the other people that I had never even heard of, and people that I knew from
Right.
Instagram that I didn't really know. I was like, I know who you are. And it was just fun to touch all these machines and do embroidery for the first time. And it just kind of happened. And when you already love something
Yeah.
and then you get to be a part of the team, it's so much better. And I talked about this on one of my Facebook lives when we were talking about how I transitioned from bag making to bag patterns. And I was like, there's opportunities, but the more you force them, the less comfortable they feel. When you
Right.
try to fit in, like I could have picked another machine brand that I didn't know and then maybe not liked it. And then what do you do then when you're in a contract and you're like, I have to promote something I don't like? I already knew I liked Janome. I was like, give me any machine. I love it.
Right.
I'm hooked already. And I love that 15,000. I would give up my husband for it. No, he didn't hear. That machine is everything. I'm like, I'm sorry. And I own like 6 Genomes. So I am for sure I'm in it. It's not just here's a machine to play with, promote us. I'm like, oh no, I will promote you, no problem.
Yeah, I was training as an educator with Janome when we went to that event there in New Jersey. I have the Skyline S5 right here on my sewing table,
Mm-hmm.
right there. But I was really so fortunate to get to sew on that 15,000
Oh, it
memory
was
craft
amazing.
15,000 for a year, and learn all its magic. I didn't even learn all its
Yeah.
magic in a year.
No,
It's
there's so much that I
impossible.
will never know.
So good. And so, yeah, so I just want to recap real quick. I have your website up, by the way, and
Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
want to show everybody the options. There's a huge list of patterns, cork fabric, bag hardware, Diva wallet and frames, fabric, notions, tutorials, zippers. It's everything is here that you need to. So it's so many creations NY for New York.com to have a piece of Jessica in your studio and make something that she has created for you to enjoy and make yourself. Now, what does 2021 have in store for you in addition to Facebook Lives and creating and marketing and just doing the things you've always done? What exciting things? Do you have anything you can say?
Yeah, I have a few things. A little quick recap of this year, like we were talking about, like not doing shows and what has it done. Not only have I gotten to start, I don't know where my English is, starting the
It's
YouTube
Monday.
channel, and it's my tell me about it. Starting the YouTube channel, finally having the time for that, doing the Facebook lives. because of this different way of interacting, and because I've actually been home and been able to pay attention more and focus more, we have things on the website that we never had before, things that never made it to the website, or things that I never intended on having. We sell Aurifil thread now because I'm obsessed with it. You love Aurifil. Aurifil is amazing. So I was like, it's my favorite. Why am I not selling it? We've been selling a lot of canvas. I love RJR Fabrics and Cotton and Steel and Rifle Paper Company. So
Mm-hmm.
we would get those and sell out of them at a show, and I would never get it on the website. So being able to do that, so I've definitely started doing more that I didn't intend on doing. That has just been amazing. The website's definitely grown and changed. For 2021, I do have another fabric collection coming out. So I'm tentatively slated for April, but obviously, you know, COVID. So we'll see.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We'll see. I don't know if that's solid yet or not, but it will come out next year. Bringing in new hardware, bringing in new colors of zippers, working on new patterns, new kits. We sell a ton of kits now. I've never been a big kit person because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of cut up money to hope that you sell.
Mm-hmm.
But now doing it through
Yes,
a
it is.
website is easier. And if it's a hit, it's a hit. And if it's not, it's okay. You know, it's totally fine. So we'll do more of those. Zoom classes are coming. I don't even know where to start because I'm just so excited now to finally be ready to teach again. I haven't taught since like March. So maybe even February. So I'm super excited. More YouTube videos, more full length tutorials. I do a mix. If you haven't been on my YouTube channel, I upload my Facebook lives. I do a lot of demos and a lot of techniques. I have a zipper tutorial on there that I get so many wonderful comments on. People
Mm.
have said such nice things about it. They're like, you made it understand. Like, I understand it now. So more of that kind of stuff that touches my heart. Like, it just makes,
Yeah.
I'm like, I did that for you. Like, I
Right.
helped you. Yay.
Yeah.
You know, no way. And I started doing some full length tutorials, and I want to do more. Those are pay for videos, but if you can't take a class with me, or if you want to take that class at midnight, you can buy it and have it at your disposal whenever you want. So
That's nice.
definitely more of that stuff, and just more of finding my place in now this new digital world of what works and what doesn't. And some stuff we've bought doesn't sell, and that's okay. You have to learn. And
Right.
some stuff I know I have to fill in, you know, some holes that we have. So I'm excited for 2021. I'm excited for a lot more stuff like this, you know,
Yeah.
fun stuff. So
Well, and I will want to have you back when you can
yes,
talk about your fabric collection.
yes, I want to touch it. I want to show it. I want to talk about it. The only thing I can tell you right now is I am designing for Banyan Boutiques, which
Oh,
is a
cool.
division of Northcott.
Yes, it is.
And that's all I can tell you because I don't have anything else to say at the moment or to show you. But when I can, I will let you know.
And let me
So
tell
I'm
you,
excited.
but and so are they actually batik fabrics?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so batiks are so nice because it's vibrant color, but it's also the weave of that fabric is so tightly woven.
Mm-hmm.
So foundation paper piecing with that stuff is so good. English paper piecing with that stuff is so good. Regular piecing, bag making, everything because it is crisp and you're going to press it.
Exactly.
It's going to do what you want it to do. It's not going to have that extra stretch like you'll find with some fabrics. I love
Mm-hmm.
all fabrics. I'm equal
Yeah,
opportunist when it comes to
I'm
fabric.
not mad at any of them. Like, I'm good.
No, I mean, there's starch. I can starch it. But
Exactly.
batiks, that's going to be really exciting. And
Yeah,
there are
I'm
shops
very
all
excited.
over that strictly are batik.
Mm-hmm.
They sell batiks only. So having a new voice in that realm of fabric, it's just going to be good.
It is, and there's something about the coloring in batiks and the coloring of cork that they work
Oh,
together so well because they both have almost this, I don't want to say grade, but they have like this tone to them that they
mm-hmm.
just, if you can't find a fabric, go look at the batik section, you'll find something that goes with the cork.
Right.
And so that, I'm like, I want to make everything over in batiks. I'm so excited. So I can't wait until I have something in my hands that I can share with everybody. I'm very excited.
And one last thing, and then we'll let everybody go. Do you have a new bag pattern that you have around you that you? I forgot to ask you if you had something
Mm-hmm.
nearby you could grab
I
that you
do.
could show everybody.
Hang on.
Okay, thank you. And thanks everybody for sticking around and watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Look at all those bags. Oh my gosh.
I'm back.
Gorgeous. I
I
mean, it
have
looks like a
two.
beautiful boutique of
This
purses and
was my
bags that I want
booth.
to buy.
This
Oh,
was my booth. And after it sat, during the anxiety depression phase of 2020, I'm okay with saying that. Once I got out of my downer phase, my husband was like, okay, listen, you rent that office, but this office is empty, even though it's his. He never got around to like really furnishing it. He's like, you can have
oh,
it, do whatever you want. Your stuff is sitting in a van.
just be
So
happy.
I unloaded it and I said, well, if I'm doing this, what do you think about having it like a pop-up shop and by appointment only? I can have customers come in. And so we don't have a ton of customers. We're kind of off the beaten path. You have to like really ask me and to get directions because I don't have set hours. But I did this and it makes me happy. And now we do our videos here. Before we were tripping over each other trying to ship orders and do videos. It was insane. You know, work smarter, not harder.
Right.
And so now I have this and I don't have to take it apart and it's great. And his customers are like, what's going on in here? They get all like, they're confused, but they're kind of like, wow, it's so pretty. This doesn't look like an automotive repair shop. I'm like, I know, because I'm also the receptionist, if you didn't know that. So
Yeah,
I
you
I
are
have many
everything.
hats. So this is Liana. This is a bowler bag.
Oh my gosh. Look at that
Yes,
cork. It's got
I know
metallic
it's
in it.
fancy. So this is brand new, and so is
Oh,
Evie. And our
beautiful.
friend Regina, that we also
Yes,
know from Genome,
Regina.
Evie was named after her daughter. So I'm
Oh, I
carrying one
saw
of
that in
these
your
right
Facebook
now.
Live. Yes, that
Yes,
little description.
I name my bags
Stunning.
after my friends' children and grandchildren.
Oh, I
So, and
love
Liana
it.
is my good friend Lisa's daughter, and she owns a local quilt shop, and I do videos for them too.
Oh,
So, but we've been on pause because Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
right,
So
right.
we'll start up next week too. So,
Which would happen in
yeah,
regular times anyway.
exactly.
People
Exactly.
need a break.
So, yes.
Uh,
So,
well, Jessica, thank you so much. It's so nice to see your
yes.
face. I mean,
You
we can
too.
FaceTime, but it's still fun to just talk shop and
Yes.
talk about what you're bringing all of us. So I'm going to post this in my Instagram TV, and I'm going to provide this video to Jessica so she can post
Hmm.
it wherever she would like as well. But this is the first episode
Yeah,
of
it was
Video
good.
Talk with Lady K and with Jessica Vandenberg of So Many Creations.
Can I leave you with one little tidbit,
Okay,
one little bit of information? When we were talking kind of, like what we're going to talk about and what questions, you had asked me a question and I just, if it helps anybody, I wanted to say it. So if that's okay with you.
sure.
You had asked if I had any words of wisdom for people like looking to get into this industry or
Oh,
looking
yes.
to, to
You
start
reading my
inventing their own
notes
designs.
and me not.
And it was, no, it's fine. I mean, trust me, we would talk for an hour, so it's good. I don't even need to talk anymore, but this is what I do. There's just, whenever I get the opportunity to say this, I just like to say it. And hopefully one person will hear it and it will work. If you are looking to get into this industry and to start selling your stuff and, whether it's finished goods or patterns and to get into this designing fabric, whatever it is, it's hard to put yourself out there. It's always, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, to put yourself out there, to allow criticism into your life. And the one thing that I wish that somebody had told me years ago when I started this, but that no one ever did, don't let the negative people let you down. Don't let them pull you in their direction. Because for every person that loves you, there's going to be someone lingering in the background that says, I don't like how you write. I don't think you do it well. I don't like your fabrics. I don't like what you have going on. Move past that.
Yeah.
Learn to grow a thick skin and to just say, that's fine. I'm not your cup of tea, but I'm someone else's. It took me a long time to get there, and I still get hurt feelings sometimes. But the more that you can learn to just say, that's more you than me, and I'm
Mhm.
fine. I have a great group of followers. You'll be okay. And so move past that, and also know that it doesn't happen overnight. So don't quit
Right.
because I tried it and it's been 6 months and nothing happened. Keep going and be your biggest cheerleader and find someone in your life. find your Karen, find your husband, find somebody in your life that's like, no, you're good. You're amazing. Everything will be fine and you will be good. So I just always like to say that because someone's always going to try to tear you down.
Yes.
And we move them aside. We don't care about them. We care about the people that lift us up.
Exactly.
So
I see you, Brett, and I see you, Amanda. They're
So
those
I
people
hope you
too.
guys like that.
I
Yes.
do. I
Yes.
love
You
it.
have to have them. And it's okay to walk away from the ones that don't do it for you. It's okay to walk away from opportunities that don't work and people that don't work. It's fine.
Yep.
You're gonna be okay.
You're
So
right.
if you want to do this, do it. We got nothing else to do right now, so
That's
you might as
right.
well start.
That's right. Thank you for your time,
Thank
honey.
you. Yes. And
And
thank
thanks
you
for
for
being my
being
first.
earlier. Yeah, I'm so excited. And thank you for being earlier so I can go to bed at 8 like an old
Oh
40-year-old
yeah.
lady.
It's all just gonna live in here forever until,
Exactly.
Facebook and Instagram pull the plug on it all or whatever.
Exactly. And I'm going to
So
post this everywhere that I can. So this will probably be on my YouTube channel and Facebook too. So,
great. Thank
yay.
you, honey bunny. All right.
Thank
Well, thanks
you.
everyone. Happy Monday. Have a
Yes.
great week. Happy New Year,
Happy New Year. Yes.
2021.
2021.
And
I'm not even going to say it, but it will be better than this year. That's it. That's it.
all right. Take care. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you on
Bye.
Insta.